Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome me back to the channel. I bet you thought I had completely disappeared or maybe ascended to another dimension. I wish. No, we're going through it though, aren't we? Yeah, just between, as you can tell, there's nothing on my wall there. So we've been in like crazy renovations, so some days it's very difficult to even um, it's too loud to do a video, but also um, we've had to keep moving things around every room because there's new windows and anyway, enough with the excuses. Also, I have to say I'm sure you're all feeling it as well, and we're going through it right now, like heavy and hard, lots of shadow work. It's interesting though, because what I've come to realize, like, because I kept trying to come back and do an equinox or a solstice one, and then the moon this week, and I've been trying to get on here, and it just hasn't come together, and this room's been a disaster mess, and but what I kind of realized in all of that too is that like I need this as much as maybe you do, in that it's like it helps me keep on top of my spiritual practice. So it's time to get back into it because man, are things shifting fast and furiously. Um, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure everyone is feeling it, and we just, it's been very intense and very um, uh, it's been very trying. So, um, what I'm going to do just to kind of kick this off and get back into it is I'm going to do the way I usually do a weekly read. So we'll do this upcoming week, which begins July already. How are we over halfway through the year? Craziness. And so we'll just look at the energy for this week, and then I'll keep on a schedule of doing those. So that's not to say I'm going to abandon the chakra series, and I'll get into it more, but like it's all about timing. So it doesn't matter when those videos come out, but it's like I know for a fact we have to be doing throat chakra right away because okay, if you've watched this channel before, you know that I've said that I feel like collectively we've been working through the chakras. And at the time, like earlier this year, it was solar plexus through and through. Um, and then I was like, well, heart should be next, right? Um, it's not that we bypassed it, it's that I think the heart is the last part of the. So, what this is once all seven chakras are aligned within us and collectively, that's ascension. That's when we fully open up to everything. But my understanding of what is actually happens is that bringing in of the Christ consciousness. It's a heart chakra opening. So it's almost like we're tuning these all the way up. We'll we'll achieve that bliss enlightenment, and then we'll have the full heart chakra opening. So it's almost like we're saving heart for last. So which makes total sense. Oh, here's a little buddy to say hi. Hey, we haven't done one of these in a while. You want to say hi? No, you don't like, you still don't like incense. And this poor renovation thing has been rough on this guy. He's just out of sorts. Oh, he's gonna sit behind me and hold some space. All right. So anyway, I what I do want to say is I fully and firmly believe we're in our throat chakra, whatever we want to call it, tuning, healing, exposing. There's a lot of exposing going on right now with this around. Always, it's about speaking our truth and our things, and realizing our truth. And boy, like I think we're really being put to the test with it right now. Like what what is real? What is real? Is it real? Is this a simulation? Like what have we been lied to about? What's being disclosed? Truth, 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 but like universal truth. And man, are we going through it? Like it takes 5 seconds to turn on the news, and there's 50 million things disclosing all every day, all day. Like it's almost difficult to keep up with. And I think it's really asking us to define our truth. What is true for you? Are we dimensional beings, or are you going to like move forward in this shift, or is it too much for your soul and you're going to stay in third dimensional for a while and slog it out? Like it is the potential for some souls, right? That they just were not going to be able to handle um, certain aspects of it. And it's easier to stay in the comfort zone of 3D, which is crazy because 3D is so bloody crazy that why would, if given the option, why would we stay? But there's different reasons for every soul in that. So I really firmly believe we're fully in this throat chakra um, energy right now and healing and attuning. And I don't know when the next shift happens that we're dealing with third eye and crown. I also have the feeling that third eye and crown will be very close together and they will happen very quickly. Like it'll be just like everything falls into place. And it's like boom. I see it all. I know I'm connected. I am a divine sovereign being connected to source and living out this source plan that nothing can stop it from coming. It's already happening. It's well underway. Anyway, I know that's a lot. So I would say, I'll try to get that throat chakra video up as soon as I can. But be doing that work. Again, I always say this, one of the biggest things with with third eye and throat. So, we're probably working a little bit on this already, is the word discernment. It comes up for both things. Like, we really have to be discerning about the information we're hearing and digging deep and finding what is real and what is the truth. Um, and I think mostly, like, to be honest, what we really need to be doing is just making sure we're ready in a place that we feel good and safe and energy balanced, that when truth is revealed, we can handle it. It doesn't, it's like, it doesn't send us off the edge. It's really interesting because, and there's certain words, obviously, you really cannot say them on YouTube. It's kind of funny. Um, with everything going on in the world right now, we've been showing things that are like, potentially really frightening and scary. Um, the funny thing is for me, and I don't know if this is just like where I've gotten to in this process, is none of it scares me, not a single bit of it, because I know in my heart of hearts, I don't even think it's true. I honestly, if you've ever seen the movie Wag the Dog, I really think a lot of that is happening. Um, and that's a very controversial point of view, but um, that's just where I'm at. I really think this is the like you could go watch 1,000 movies, The Truman Show, anything. Like I think this has all been sort of I don't want to say fabricated. Yeah, fabricated to help us, you know, stay on the right timeline. And that's the other thing that's been happening is that's probably been the roughest part is like from day to day emotionally and those sorts of things is like the shifting of timelines. It's like boom, boom, like it's battering us, and it's hard to keep your balance and hard to keep your wits about you and not be like, this is BS, I give up. Like I've had those days, lots and lots of those days recently where it's like I'm done with this. But I also am not the kind of person that is like, I don't have any desire to leave the planet, or not do this. So, it's like I'm just gonna do my best to 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 go through it and potentially figure out what it is about. Right? I signed up for this. Apparently, we all signed up for this. Anyway, okay, so we're just gonna do the standard kind of energy read that we usually do. So we're heading into this new week, we're heading into the beginning of July. So we'll look at the energy at the beginning of the week, Monday through Wednesday, and then Thursday through the end of the week. I just help, sometimes they are compatible in what they're saying, and sometimes it's like we might start out, have a nice couple days, and then it's a total shift by the end of the week. So, all right, let's look at, okay, I am so rusty at this. So first of all, I was going to try to keep this video short, but I know it's not going to be because I'm totally rusty at this. This is the first time I've I've drawn a few cards for myself here and there, but I really have not been doing this. So I'm happy to be back at it because I know it helps me in my, connection to it all. So we're going to do one overall card of the Nature's Rhythm Oracle. Let's just see for the week and the current time and space, like where we're at. Where are we at? Growth. It's not shocking. Yeah, we got a lot. It's always so funny. It's like, isn't this over yet? Haven't we done everything? But unfortunately, the truth of the matter is we're always growing and learning, right? I continue to grow and learn every day. That's okay. So that's what we're supposed to be doing. I said this to someone the other day, and they're just like, I feel lost, like a rudderless ship. Like I was doing all this really great work, and then now I'm not doing anything, and I just feel like nothing is happening, and it's all kind of like I don't know what to do, and I just said like I think we're back in like a learning and growth period again. So that's kind of funny that card came up. We never stop learning, right? Let's read this card again. I read these because I can't really get too much from the images, but I mean, I don't really need to because it makes perfect sense. Okay, growth requires vulnerability and often follows turmoil. Haven't we gone through that? Or change? Whew. We have that in spades right now, don't we? You have to let go so that you can learn and grow. Consider where in your life you are stuck holding on when you should be letting go. That's an easy assignment. The growth process is inevitable. Inevitable. Like you said, nothing can stop what's coming. When you have the courage to let go of the things that no longer serve you, the growth process is inevitable. Nice. Still doing that work, right? Again, and I don't know if you guys are finding this too, but I'm really finding like just people have completely disappeared out of my life, and I like, and I feel bad, but they're, fundamentally, I know they're not part of my next evolution or everybody's evolution. They're on their own path, right? And they have their own people, and it's kind of fascinating right now. Okay, remember that growth is a process that exposes your tenacity and commitment to life. Oh man, that just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like that's exactly what I've been those days I was ready to give up and all of that. It's just like, but that's the thing. I'm completely tenacious and I'm not giving up. I don't want to give up. I want to take this across the finish line and the promise of new earth and all of that. Like we have to, I can't see us going this whole way, doing this whole thing, to come up empty handed. Anyway, it's still going to be a fight and it's still going to be a struggle. And we're still going to be doing shadow work, everybody's favorite. And the worst part is that what I think I've discovered too is there's shadow work for each chakra. And it's like, ooh, we did that like solar plexus one. Now we're heavy in this throat one. And bleh, it's just like, I've had enough of it already, but have I had enough of it already? Hopefully soon. And then I'm like, and then we'll move on to third eye. I'm sure there's a bunch of shit to deal with there too. Okay, let's look at the overall for this week, the energy, what we're coming into, what we should be looking for. It's that one. That was funny, hey? I went to shuffle it and it was like not gonna leave my hands. We get this card a lot. Temperance. May the Lord make me an instrument of peace. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing right now, right? We 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 create our reality. So we need to be the change we wish to see. We need to be emanating peace regardless of what's going on. And that's a lot of the thing too that I've really been just, a lot of this stuff, right, that gets you like triggered or fired up or like pissed off or like it's all distraction. And so like every single bit of it, it doesn't matter what issue it's on, like the government, the this, the that, like it is completely distracting us from where we need to be focusing our attention, right? And that's on us and our spiritual development and and peace and being the conduit of God, right? Like we're here to like make this change happen. We're the embodiment on this planet to usher in the energy of peace and love and the Christ consciousness. So like that's what we're supposed to be doing. But, I know 3D's tricky. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I, I'm not, I don't even want to say anything about this card because it's just, again, it fits so perfectly with learning and growth. We're just in a process of change, right? What did that say about change? Oh, that's when the biggest growth comes, right? Right outside of um, turmoil and change. And like I said, boy, are we going through it. Even if you don't count the outside world, I think every one of us is going through this huge change and like, and we're alchemizing, right? We're taking everything and turning it into gold. The golden future, which we will be reading some of those cards, us. It's us. We're the commodity that turns into gold. It isn't a mineral in the ground. It is a mineral in the ground, and we can use it for certain things. But it's us. The golden age is us. Our soul becoming golden. That's the end result of it. So this week, more alchemy, which honestly could mean that you're getting a bit of continuing change. I don't want to say turmoil, but like we've basically we're already in like a little bit of turmoil, so there's bound to be a little bit more, and we just do what we do and we keep going, right? We keep moving through it, transmuting it, alchemizing it, and you know, and letting it grow our soul into this gold. I am a golden god. I'm just kidding. Sorry. I don't know why that came into my head, but don't do false idols. Just kidding. But yeah, we are. What we are, and that's where we're headed, and that's our goal, the end goal. All right, let's look at this week. Let's do Monday through Wednesday. Yeah, it was like I said, I'm a little rusty because I don't remember how I did this reading, but I figured this was the easiest way to get back to it. Ooh, that's too many cards. But I'll pick out of them. Let's see. I'll pick them. Ah, yes. Yeah, that reminds me. Okay. I should. I gotta put some pictures back on the wall. I think they're done pounding on the walls, but stuff was falling off. So that my unicorn, he was on this wall, and they were pounding on that wall. He still fell off. Anyway, you have no context as to why I'm saying this, but because of this card that I picked up. Okay. So first up, heart chakra card. We have a grand symphony. So for me, this card is always about like a symphony. We all have our part to play. We all, um, but we're only as good as the instrument and how good we are. Because if we go into an orchestra setting and everybody else is like pitch perfect, but we haven't done the work and we sound like crap, we bring everybody down, right? The song doesn't work. It doesn't match. It doesn't mesh. So when I get this card, it's always like, start tuning your instrument. So again, stop being distracted. Get it this week. Get in back into yourself. Start reflecting within. Stop worrying about all those other things out there, because it's tuning us out. It's bringing us out of tune. So we're supposed to be working on the grand symphony at the end, when everybody comes together and plays their best frequency, and we all tone up, ascension up, whatever you want to call it. So we're close. So it's really, and again, heart chakra, heart. That's the thing, is the very last piece. I know I always have people say, like, well, there are so many people and they're just like completely asleep and out to lunch. And yes, but if we can raise that frequency high enough that everybody can start to tune in, and when the heart chakra opening happens, the remembering happens. I almost don't like to call it ascension. I want to call it the remembering. It's the moment where the energy comes in so fully that people are like, oh my God, I remember why I'm here. And then this happens. I always think sound is the way it's going to get us there anyway. So the bottom line for the beginning part of this week: tuning your instrument, practicing your instrument, singing your song, whatever it is, just get in the right frequency and vibration. And again, it's a heart chakra card. So in the energy of love, in the energy of peace, get we we've got to start like practicing and playing and being a part of this, right? All right. Next for this week: gut instinct, intuition, knowing, sensing, trust. Again, it's just about like, start paying attention again. I feel like and I'm just completely speaking about me, but I feel like it resonates probably for lots of people. I haven't been tuning into anything. Obviously, this is the first time I've touched cards in like months. Um, and taking it seriously and be connected and use my intuition and listen to the messages I'm getting. The key piece of this card, though, is I talk about it every year, right? And there's a whole series on here about the Lion's Gate, right? Leading up to the Lion's Gate in August, 8/8, the 8/8 portal. So the lion, it's just completely representative of that. And I keep seeing 808. It always starts this time of year. I always catch 808 on the clock, and I know that energy is coming in. So that's very Sirian energy. They're here to help us. They're here to help us lead and become, the lion, the king again, right? So it's right now, this week is definitely about like tuning your instrument, using your intuition. We also have releasing the past, which it's so funny because I think we always are like, I did all that work. And then you hit throat chakra and you're like, nope, more work to do. Okay, releasing the past, emerging, transforming, energies transmuted, alchemy. So we're in the thick of the work right now. That's what it is. And it's really interesting because we can say, like, you might be sitting there and I say we're in the thick of the work and you're like, but I'm not doing anything. I haven't done anything for 6 weeks, but I'm still connected and participating because at a soul level, that's what I came here to do. So I have been, and that's the thing, is like, dreams have been crazy and sleeping has been crazy. And I think a lot of the times that's probably because we're not doing our work in the daytime. So we're having to do it at night. So I would suggest, in my opinion, is like, take the time during the day to get the work done so that you're not doing it while you sleep and you can have a good night's sleep. I mean, energies are one thing and sometimes doesn't help us with sleeping, but you know, okay, and then we also got Isis, reclaiming magic, call back your power and what is rightfully yours. So this is totally just saying, like, I I'm guessing because it's happening to me that it's happening to lots of people, and this is just saying, hi guys. And actually, it's funny because just the way circumstances went last week, I ended up at a friend's house and she had total like plans to do stuff. And then we just ended up talking about exactly this, how we haven't been doing anything. We've kind of been void of spiritual practice and how we needed to get back into it. And so these cards are 100% just confirming what I was kind of starting to feel already was like, okay, whatever you were doing is fine. What I found is like it made us really busy. And I don't know if that was by design. We have to remember too, there's a good degree of the lower frequencies that were in control of things not wanting this process to happen. So they will do everything in their power to stop us. And the thing is that first of all, it can't be stopped. It's coming in no matter what. It's just like we can do better by playing our part, right? And doing and practicing and doing our, like and tuning our instrument and being part of it all. So, beginning of the week, get back at it, kids. Get back on the horse. Do some meditation. Do some shadow work if you're into that kind of thing. Sorry, that was terrible. Nobody likes to do shadow work, but it has to be done. Um, but that's what it is. Beginning of the week. Let's look at the end of the week and see. I have a feeling it's probably about the same. But okay. Yeah. Okay. You know what? This is really. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Ooh. Okay. End of the week. This is definitely the end of the week is definitely throat chakra. So we've got there's that little blue color that's throat chakra card, a tall tale. This is my card for just disclosure. So end of the week, more truth, right? Coming out. It's the Pinocchio, right? Um, yeah. It usually just indicates by weekend, which is really interesting because isn't not July 4th this weekend? Friday, I think. More truth. Truth of who we are, what's really going on, what's been going on. So again, like I said, this is not something to be like frightened of or go into fear about. It's like we prepare yourself in an energy at the beginning of the week, spiritually, mentally, physically, in a good energy, so that when this comes out, you're not rocked by it. Right? When I said that, it was 28:08 on the clock. Don't be rocked by it. Um, yeah, just take it in stride. And sometimes too, remember, we're still in a little bit of the smoke and mirrors phase. So again, we have to use our discernment and have to use our throat chakra and discern a little bit about what we're hearing and how we let that affect us, right? If like I know when all this stuff was going on the past couple of weekends with different countries and that like people were freaking out. And I'm like, I'm not because that's not really, ah, it's not that it's not happening. It's totally happening, but it's, it's being done so that basically it helps other people wake up. Anyway, we also got intelligence, which is interesting because, again, one of the big themes right now coming up over and over again is this whole is AI, right? What is real? It like is everything we're watching a movie? Is everything we're watching scripted? Look at the books. Is this like you know, pre-done? But again, the education piece is in there. So it's the discernment piece. So it is do your research. Don't just take like what one person says to you and be like, that's the gospel. No, 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 no. like like it doesn't work that way. Do your own research. And that just means that might even just mean like when I say that, it doesn't mean going on Google and looking stuff up because you're probably going to get again someone else's perception or AI's interpretation of what they think you should hear. This is like the not the hidden knowledge. It's not being hidden for much longer, but we have our own divine intelligence, innate intelligence. Like it's all within you. The Akashic records, like however you access that, but it's like it's sitting down and saying what is true and what isn't true. Um, Using your knowledge, using perception. That's intuition part, you know, as well. Like so it's like really be discerning about everything that's going on and don't let it rock you and just, just sit with it and don't freak out. We got the sanctuary as well. Oh, I love that rainbow. So, harmony and balance, joy and contentment. I want to say too, this is like very like the remedy, right? The remedy always is when things, any, like the one blessing of this like stupid renovation I'm in is that I have to get the dog out of the house because the banging is so loud that he's terrified of it. So I've been taking like 2 hour walks in this little nature reserve thing we have in the city. And for that 2 hours, I am not connected to anything but nature. And it's so good. It's so good. So let that be the remedy, right? Um, for finding harmony and balance, joy and contentment. Don't spiral out of control because of, and like for me, like I like this card because I'm like, I want to know this stuff. I want to know the truth. I can't handle the truth. Just kidding. Maybe not. Maybe we can't. Maybe none of us can. Um, and I say that, and then it's okay because then the last card we draw is Melchizedek, which is like probably like besides God himself is like the most ancient wise being ever to exist. He didn't really walk the earth, so divine master, divine knowledge, higher learning, commit to your vision through study. So again, it's all like the beginning of the week. It's like, hey, you guys need to be focusing um on this higher learning. Like it again, it doesn't come from necessarily it. You might find some stuff in text, like if you read the Emerald tablets or the oh, I just it fell right out of my head. And any or if you read Akashic records or you go see an Akashic reader, but this is about tuning into the our divine knowledge that we have within. So if you're going to do work this week, that's the kind of work you should be focusing on. And you may not remember how to do it right now, but if you're sitting down in meditation and you ask your guides to help and show you, I am sure you will get answers. Because the other thing we got is Lakshmi and Ganesh, prosperity vibrations. Now, remember when, like last year, my word was prosperity. Prosperity means to thrive. It doesn't mean to be rich. It doesn't mean to be, it is an abundance thing to have abundance, right? So, again, we need to be working on that piece instead of like, I think a lot of us have been sitting in that doom and gloom energy and like, and what does it just manifest more of? Um, it says you are attracting health, wealth, happiness. So we just need to get back in that prosperity vibration, gratitude. Um, all of the tools we know work, but we haven't been using because sometimes we fall off the wagon for months at a time. So it's just overall, and I expected this fully, is the message is get back at it, kids. Let's get back to it. All right, we're going to draw 3 from the Golden Futures because this is going to be the staple for um, moving forward because that's where we're headed. And if, again, we can only bring in New Earth if we're manifesting it. And, ooh, see that? Look at that. It's like floating almost. I can't wait to see what card that is. And that one fell on the floor. I got to go get that. Let's see. These cards are dumpy and like just waiting to be read. Oops, I want that one. Ooh, okay. Hang on, I gotta get this guy. If I can get it. Okay. Okay, the one that flipped up first, I'm gonna read last, actually. That's Angels. So this is what I was just talking about, is like, I feel like there's a lot of you out there going, I don't know where to start, what to do, like how do I read into the intelligence, the emotional intelligence, the energy intelligence, the divine cosmic intelligence. Um, just ask for some help. Ask the angels. Say like, okay, I'm ready to tune in. Like, what do I need to know? And then, and you know what? A great place to do that would be out in nature. So get out there. Um, oops, that's not the one. That's the last one that jumped out. Okay. The other one is homes. Living in ecological, creative, and fun space. I think like this is something we need to start. Like if you're gonna do any manifestation work, do this. So like all of us are in a home and we might be like, well, this is kind of like my, forever home, but it's not your forever home. Um, but like ideally, where do you want to be living? I know I would be out in the forest in a yurt or these little domes are kind of cool. I kind of like them. Yeah, like with rainbow waters, like you might want to live in a floating city, like that, like you've seen, or crystals. You might want to live in a crystal palace. Like go nuts and like start at home, right? Home is where the heart is. So we're not looking at our current home going, I could change this and I could do that. That's not what we're talking about. We are talking about full on like dreaming, manifesting, creating, which is funny because that's the last card we got. So the remedy for this week, besides being out in nature, is asking the angels for help. And not just, what I'm getting is not even asking them for help, but visions. Like we need to start, like they're ready to send us critical information through visions. So meditate and write down everything you're seeing. And then do some creative work. And this isn't like you don't have to paint, but look at this. Look at this beautiful child meditating, right? And creating imagination. And using your imagination is all it requires sometimes. So let's see. I want to see on there too what she's creating. There's lots of butterflies. There's an owl like surrounding her. Oops, sorry. This is an owl right here. So again, the knowledge piece, right? Tapping into that inner knowledge, even if you're like you've never worked with it. The dolphins are in there. Again, that's like an ancient intelligence. They always say dolphins are so smart and all of that stuff, and it's completely 100% what we should be looking at, right? Um, so it also says in the card of creativity, express your soul energy. So, right, that's a totally different thing. That's not like I'm going to paint a painting of a flower. This is like, what does your soul want to paint? So, if you do want to do it creatively and paint or draw or sing or whatever you're going to do, but this really, like, there's nothing bigger in this picture than this act of just tuning in and using your imagination and creating new earth, right? Like this is the golden future. This is new earth. Like we but we only get there by creating it. So we're just being asked to like get back at it, you guys. And I get it. Like we've been slacking off a bit and none of us meant to. And I think in a way too, like I do want to say it, I think there was a bit of purpose to it, right? It wasn't just that it was happening from some sort of negative energy or that kind of thing and to distract us, although I do believe that's like was a little part of what was going on. So um yeah, it's time to just get back at it. I oh yeah, I have a sum up, so I'm gonna sum up. Let's sum up um this week by the end of the week what we're looking at. And then, like I said, I'll get back into readings just like this um, come out every Monday. And then we'll look at moving forward with um, I'll get those other videos done, the chakras. Hopefully they'll just end up coinciding with those actual chakras being healed and moved on from. um, what else? I have something else I want to say. Anyway, okay. That's the end of the week. Let's sum up where we're at the end of the week. Oh, there's 2 cards. Okay. Okay. So we also got justice, which is I am I am truthful with others and myself, and I take full responsibility for my choices. Okay, so by the end of the week too, I also feel like this is just about the justice card. Is that it is again? It's about the truth, right? It's like it's making sure we're establishing what the truth or our truth is, um, and not being and not holding ourselves back or just conforming to other people's ideals of what the truth is. So, um, like I said, we're just being guided to get back at it and get things done. So, and being truthful, right? That's another thing. Again, like sometimes we'll just like go with the status quo and be like, "Oh, I believe that." But it's like, but in your heart of hearts, you're like, I don't believe that. So it is about, using our throat chakra and using your voice and saying, sorry, like, it's an unpopular opinion, some of the stuff I just even said now. And it's like, sorry, I'm not gonna, this is what I feel. Like, I'm not gonna hide that anymore. Okay, we also got judgment, which is interesting because what justice and judgment. So it could be an interesting week, right? Again, in the end of it, we don't define someone else's justice or judgment. We don't pass judgment on them. That's being done. That's not our job to take care of. Um, so the judgment card, I awaken to the timelessness of body, spirit, and soul. All illusions are shattered. Yeah, there's a bunch of illusion shattering going on, right? So this week is a lot. It's still about like throat chakra truth, right? Truth and awaken to the timelessness of our body, spirit, and soul. Everything we've been completely lied to about what this is and what we're doing here and what the soul is. So I feel like it's going to be a week and just not even like us and our inner knowledge, but there's going to be like outer knowledge, right? The tall tale card is like I said, it's always comes around with information. I awaken to that all illusions are shattered. Everything's being decided. So it's good. It's good news. Let's do one final card and call it. Ooh, that one shot out. Let's do that. Fortitude. Really easy. It's just like fortitude for me is putting on the armor of God and standing in our truth and just like standing still like the mountain and being like, this is who I am and what I'm doing. So fortify yourself this week. Work on things, get it together. Be conscious, be happy, be you. Just be you and go do your thing. That's the best we can do. And get back on that horse and start tuning up our